We do have breaking news into the CBS 46 newsroom at this hour. Civil rights leader and U.S. Congressman John Lewis has passed away at the age of 80. We're just getting that news now that he passed away in the comfort of his home. Congressman Lewis served the state of Georgia since 1987, serving the 5th Congressional District. And this is something, unfortunately, we had been hoping the day would not come when we would hear this. But of course, we've been covering a number of stories about Congressman Lewis, and joining us live on the phone right now is CBS 46 anchor Karen Greer. And Karen, can you hear us?
I can, Tracy. Hello.
You know, this is devastating news on the heels of losing Reverend Dr. C.T. Vivian earlier today, now losing Congressman Lewis. And we know you've been working on a series of stories about Congressman Lewis and speaking to a number of high-profile people living here in the metro Atlanta area who worked with him closely, who understand his legacy, know his history, and will certainly, like many of us, be mourning his loss today.
Tracy, this is such a difficult day, a difficult night after the day we've had today, just remembering and celebrating the life of Reverend Dr. C.T. Vivian, who passed away just before 3 o'clock this morning. To get this news just 20 hours later, the same day that our beloved Congressman John Lewis has passed away, is really, really tough. We know that in December he admitted and told everyone that he had stage 4 pancreatic cancer. He'd been battling it, working with his doctors, and just really trying to fight this. But he said this was one of the toughest fights of his life. We are preparing some stories. We wanted to just do some things to celebrate his life, and we're hoping that this day would not come. But we know that it's a tough one for his family, for the nation. He's done so much for everyone and just been a big part of Georgia, a big part of Troy, Alabama, where he's from. His new documentary just released the 4th of July weekend, Good Trouble. So he is definitely going to be missed, Tracy.
Oh, absolutely. And, you know, knowing that he was such a fighter, he'd been through so much throughout his life, the son of an Alabama sharecropper. We know that he had done so much in the civil rights movement. I was lucky enough to spend some time with Congressman Lewis. Really the last time we were able to walk with him and speak with him was during the 50th anniversary of that Bloody Sunday, that video that many of us are watching right now, that March on Selma. And Karen, what struck me is that John Lewis remembered that day beat for beat and remembered being beaten down and basically put in a hospital that day because he was marching for civil rights to make sure that folks there in Selma, Alabama had the right to vote. And he remembered that day like it was just yesterday. And it was just remarkable, the strength and the endurance this man has, and to see him and to speak with him, and I know you have, that he has such a kind heart and is so soft-spoken. And it's hard to believe that that much strength lives in a man that has that kind outwardly appearance, but he does. A soft and gentle man, but that inner strength that was undeniable, and certainly in dealing with this cancer since last December. You know, it's no doubt that he certainly put up a good fight. And I know you've been able to, just this last week, you moderated kind of a VIA conference on Good Trouble. That's a documentary made about John Lewis's life. Tell me a little bit about that, because for so many people who may not know his history, you were able to really dig deep into that and have conversations with a lot of people who worked by his side.
Oh, it's an amazing documentary that he took part in. They shot it over a couple of years. And the director, the producer, talking about what an amazing man the congressman really was, how he was really the same on camera as off camera, and how just telling his story was so important for people to be able to see. You know, and Tracy, I had a chance to call him when the Rayshard Brooks protests were happening, that first night, I called him and I said, you know, people want to hear from you, Congressman. Is there something you can share? I spoke with Michael Collins, his longtime aide, and he said, you know what? Let me get the congressman on the phone and see if we can talk to you all. And he did. He talked to us and talked to the protesters, and you know, he was in support of demonstrating with nonviolence, being peaceful. And he said he wanted to give them his support, though, and he did the same, you know, in you know, whatever was going on, any types of protest. And we see him there actually walking every bit of strength that he had. He wanted to let people know he was still fighting along with us. Our longest serving, you know, congressman right now, and he's pretty much the dean of Georgia when it comes to the Georgia congressman. And he has really had his treatment and still been there to do votes. He has not let this keep him down. Watching him there, looking at his passion, knowing him, Tracy, as we have learned how he is so passionate about everything here in Georgia and about people. You know, he's really a people person. His words always, we must never give up or give in or throw in the towel. We must continue to press on and be prepared to do what we can to help educate people, to motivate people, to inspire people to stay engaged, to stay involved, and to not lose their sense of hope. Hard to believe, Congressman John Lewis passed away at the age of 80. His dear friend there, but boy, that's going to be tough, too, for him. As we are watching some of the video, former Atlanta Mayor and Ambassador Andrew Young talking to us about his friend and saying he wasn't ready to give up. He wasn't ready to leave us. You know, when just last week there was a story that came out that the congressman had passed away that was, of course, erroneous. And we talked to Ambassador Young, and he said, nope, he's still fighting. Nope, he's still with us. He said, you know, there's still some fight in him, still some things he wants to do. So hard to believe that on the same day, though, that C.T. Vivian passed away, that we are also losing another giant in the world in the civil rights movement in Congressman John Lewis. Tracy?
Well, Karen, absolutely a beacon of hope, not just here in Georgia, but across the country as well. And so many people are tweeting tonight. Former Mayor Kasim Reed saying, thank you for it all, Congressman John Lewis. You will be remembered beyond all of tomorrows. Another one of our great men has left us. God's covering you and your loved ones as well. And Governor Brian Kemp tweeting tonight as well. Civil rights icon, freedom fighter, and beloved Georgian John Lewis lost his battle with cancer today. Our nation will never be the same without him. There are no words to adequately express the sadness that countless Americans are feeling upon learning the news. So many people tweeting tonight, so many people remembering the loss of a legend. Civil rights icon John Lewis passes away at the age of 80. Right now, CBS News, we will join them with a special report.